Hello my viewers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So good to be here today. We'll be talking about male bodies today, and I'll be drafting a pattern for us on male bodies. So if you're interested, stay tuned. We're using 2 inches straight line. This is our measurement. We have the chest as 34.5. We have the waist as 29 inches. We have the hip as 37 inches. And we have our waist to hip as 9.5 inches. We have our cross chest as 15.75. We have our cross back as 16.25. And we also have our front shoulder as 16.5. We have our back shoulder as 17.5. We have our neck point as 5.75. We have our full front length as 16.75, and our nape to waist as 17 inches, and the length of the top is going to be 34 inches. So the first thing we are getting is our nape to waist. There's a bone at the back of our neck to where our waistline is our nape to waist. And we said our nape to waist is 17 inches. So we mark our 17 inches from the top line. We need to label this top line. Mark it out and get a straight line. So after getting our nape to waist, this new line is going to be called our waistline. After this waistline, the next thing we are getting is our hip line. And we said our waist to hip is 9.5. So the new line we got now is our hip line. The next thing we are doing is to get the length of our top. So from the top line, we measure down to 34 inches. What is remaining on this paper? Exactly 34 inches. So we move on by getting our chest line. How do we get our chest line? Our nape to waist, that's the top line to the waistline. We divide it by 2 minus 1. And I said our nape to waist is 17 inches. Divided by 2 gives us 8.5. 8.5 minus 1 gives us 7.5. 7.5, we are going to measure the 7.5 from our waistline upward. We'll place our 7.5 inches from the waistline up, because on these lines are where we'll place our measurements. So that means we always need to get the line first. This is our chest line. You should remember to label it so that you can remember. But as time goes on, you won't need to label it anymore. So the next thing we are doing now is to get our cross back and our cross front of the paper. That's the right hand side of the paper is the front, and this left side of the paper is the back. So we'll label it as our center front, and we'll label this as our center back, which is, this paper is the half of the body, but each area, as we call this our center front, is the quarter of the body. That this front part is the half of the front body, and this side is the half of the back body. So when we cut this out, drafting this pattern, when we cut it out, we'll place it on a folded fabric. Half of the sheet on a folded fabric will give us our full front, and placing this half part at the back on the folded fabric will give us the full back. And our top line, this top line, we measure it to this chest line. We'll divide it by 3, and we measure from our chest line up. So dividing this by 3, we have 9.5. From our top line to our chest line, we have 9.5. We'll divide 9.5 by 3. It will give us 3.1. We'll measure it from the chest line up From here, we don't need to measure, we don't need to get a straight line down to the back, center back. Now we are doing this for the front part alone. This is our cross front. This is where we have a little difference. At the front, if we are dividing our top line to our chest line by 3 to get our cross front, at the back we'll be dividing our cross back by 2 to get our cross back. So 9.5 divided by 2 will give us 4.75, and we'll do the same measurement from the chest line up. So we label it as our cross back. From that, we are getting our shoulder line. At the front, from the top line at the front, we measure down 2 inches. It is constant to get our shoulder line. So this is our shoulder front. So at the back, we measure down from the top line. We measure down 1.5. At the front is 2 inches. At the back is 1.5. And we'll rule it out and label it as our shoulder back. When you are doing yours, you're not to use a marker. You are to use your pencil. But I'm using my marker so that you all can see what I'm doing. So now, this is all the lines we really need to get. So this side of the paper is the middle. That's our side, the side of our clothes. We'll soon get it right. But this is the lines we need to get. The shoulder back, the across back. If you really want to know how to measure all this, you need to check that my video, the other video, the link below. You can get the way we measure when we want to do pattern. And we get the chest line, the waistline, the hip line, and if the paper was to be longer than this, definitely we'll get our end line, which is where the top will get to. But because the paper is exactly the measurement we wanted, that's why there's no any other line there. But the next line should have been our hem line. You can still write it there as our hem line. Now let's start placing our measurements. Start with the back part. So what we'll be doing from here is our shoulder back. We have our shoulder back at 17.5. But in this case, I asterisked our shoulder back and also asterisk our full front length, because I won't be using these two measurements here. But if we are to be doing a female body, we'll be using all the measurements. But here, we'll be using the front shoulder measurement as our front shoulder and our back shoulder, so that our shoulder line can align. And for the front full length, I'll be using the front full length because the same thing as their back is as their front. They don't have bust. So the neck point and the nape to waist is what we are using. You can see there's no much different. We measure the front full length at 16.75 and we measure the nape to waist at 17 inches. So we use the one that is longer, which is their nape to waist. The front full length, we don't need to use it because it's just like 2.5. That's just 2.5 difference. Placing our shoulder front measurement. When we want to measure the shoulder, we'll just measure on a straight line. So that means we are going to divide it by 2 because half of the back part. So we are dividing by 2. But when we get to the chest line and the waistline and the hip line, we'll be dividing by 4 because those ones we measure around the body. So we need to divide by 4. But as for the shoulder back and across back, we are dividing by 2. So the measurement here is 16.5 divided by 2. You can write it down there. The answer is 8.25. And the across back is 16.25. Give us 16.25 divided by 2. 8.125. We go to our chest line. We said our chest is 34.5 divided by 4 will give us 8.625. And note, any answer, measure it from the edge of the paper inward. So So this 8.25 we got here, we measure it from here inward, back, and this is also our center front. So any measurements we are measuring them inward. It's 29 divided by 4, 7.25. Now our E, we said is 37. 37 divided by 4, 9.25. So any answer we get on our hip is what we are transferring to our end line. Let's start distributing the measurements. You get your tape roll, and we said our shoulder back is 8.25. That's after dividing. That is 8/2/8. If you have not watched the way I read my tape, so that it can be very easy for you, you need to watch the way I read the tape so that you can understand the overhead and all that. Because I told you our tape rule is on 8 divisions. So the answer here is 8.125 at the across back. That's 8/1/8. After marking the measurement, you join the points, you connect them. This same measurement we have at the across back, you drop it on the chest line. On any measurement you have on the across back or across front, you drop it down. You connect the line. You're doing that same chest line. The answer we got at the chest line is 8.625. You measure from the center back inward. 8.625 is our 8/5/8. And the next point we are dropping here is our waistline. We said our waist is 29 divided by 4 gives us 7.25. Our 7.25 is 7.25, which is 7/2/8. We are connecting this new point, which is our chest point, connect it with the waist point. From the center back, we measure inward, we get the point, and we connect it to the waist. So we go back to the top line. To get our neck point, to get our neckline, we need to divide our chest. It is for the female bodies, we divide our bust. For the male, they don't have a bust, they have chest. We divide their chest, that 34.5 divided by 8 plus 1 divided by 2. That is how we get our width, the width of our neck. So, and the width of our neck, the measurement will be placed on the top line. The width of our neck will be placed on the top line. So we divide our chest, which is 34.5 divided by 8 plus 1 divided by 2. Means the width of our neck will be 2.656, and approximately 2.656 is still the same thing, 2.75. So we can do it this way and say that the width of our neck is 2.25, which is 2.75, which is 2.6/8. So from this point we got here now, the neck width, we come up by 0.5, put a straight line there, place our ruler on this point. We just got the 0.5, we connect it from here to the back shoulder to get our shoulder slant. So we'll connect it. From the center back at the top line, we come in by 0.5, just coming in, just to blend the neck. This place is going to be on a straight line, that is why we came in by 0.5, and we'll blend the neck. So that means we've gotten our neck at the back and we've gotten our shoulder. The next thing is our armhole. But before we get our armhole, you know, a shape of a man can never be this curvy, because I used to measure to the body. That is the reason why I said you need to go and watch the way I measure. If you should watch the video, you can see when I'm measuring, I only put a finger between the body and the tape roll. When you're on the pattern is when we'll add our ease to the body. And a male body needs a lot of ease because they don't like when their cloth is too tight. So the ease we'll be using on this pattern is going to be 4, 3, 4. How do we do that? This 4 inches is for the chest. This 3 is for the waist. And this other 4 is for the hip. To measure the chest round, that's in circumference, that means we've divided the chest by 4. That means this ease will be divided by 4. We can't add 4, 4, 4 to every part. It will be in excess. But what we do now is dividing our ease by 4. When we are dividing by 4, that means the ease will be adding on this chest area will be 1 inch, because when we divide 4 by 4, it's going to give us 1. On the chest line, we place our 1 inch. And here, when we divide 3 by 4, the same thing on the hip. We place our 1 inch on the hip line. So the next thing we'll do is to connect the 2 lines. We know this has entered. We want ease, so we will just connect the chest to the hip. So we are connecting on a straight line. We are getting a straight. We connect the 2 ease, and we'll just leave this ease. We are coming back to it. We'll do the same thing and part. So let's leave this center back for now. Let's move on to the front. Talking about our shoulder front, is the same 16.5 that we use at the back. It's 8.25. We mark it. We are using different across front from the across back. Our cross back is 16.25, but our cross front is 15.75. We divide our 15.75 by 2. You can also do your tape rule in such a way that you get your 15.75, which is here on the tape rule, 15.75, and you fold your tape rule into 2. What it gives you is the correct answer. It gives us 7.875. That's our cross front. We place it on the line of our cross front. We measure from the center front inward. So the answer we got is 7.77/8 is the answer. So the next thing we are doing is connecting the 2 points, the front to our cross back. And I told us that any measurements we have on our cross front, we drop it down on our chest line. So what we have here is 7.875. We drop it down here. We connect these 2 lines first. The next thing we are doing is the same measurement we place at the back, the chest, the answer, we divided by 4. We place that same measurement on the chest line at the front. We measure him from the center. That's 8.625. Our waistline, we said, is 7.25. That's 7.25. That's our waist. The same waist we use at the back. We connect it from the chest line to the waistline. We move down to our hip line. We also divided by 4 at the hip line, which we have 9.25. That's 9.25. We connect the point. That's the waist to hip. Now it's forming the same shape. Back to the neck. We want to get the neck measurement at the front. I'm not moving up by anything. The only thing we are doing is the same neck width that we place at the back is what we are placing at the front, which is our 2.75, our neck point to our shoulder point. That's to get our slant. What we'll be doing is to get the depth of our neck. At the back, that was why we came up by 0.5. So that means the depth of the neck here is 0.5. But how to get the depth of our neck at the front? There's a constant 0.375. That's 3/8. 375 is 3/8 on the tape rule. When you can't these lines 1, 2, 3. This 0.375, you add it with the neck width. Said our neck width is 2.75. 2.75 plus 375 will give us our neck depth. So getting the depth of our neck, adding that together will give us 3.1. From the point of the neck on the top line, you measure your 3.1. It's always good to use your set square so that you can get a straight line. So using our set square, you get a straight line and you connect it back to the center front. Do the next thing as measuring 3.1 here. Here's another point and you connect it back. You see we are on a straight line. So this is the depth of our neck. Out of our armhole, we are not through with that. The shape of the side, and this is the neck part. This is the shoulder from the point of the neck. So that means we'll just mark 0.5 here. So the next thing we are doing is just to blend in. We need to blend our neck. My name is still your dial, 10 finger signature. If you're watching this channel for the first time, to see more of you here, so if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to this channel. Press your notification button so that you can always know the particular time we post, and like it and also share it. Thanks for watching. I love you. See you in my next video.